Ah, the beautiful start of a race in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. This video is gonna be a grand one. But, wait. We're gonna be talking about items. So yeah, let's get started. So, let's talk items. There's officially, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And if you count the item box as an item itself, then it would be 15. If there wasn't, then you'd be 14. But I will list off all the items in the game, and we can start ranking them. The first item on the list would be Super Horn. Super Horn was first developed as a very big destruction tool. It really is main purpose is to take out the blue shell if you're in first, or to pretty much take out any player around you. The Super Horn is really not as valid as people think it is. It's a really good first place tool, but any other placement, it's pretty bad, and that's why a lot of people just use it, especially professional players. They don't really like to use it because of its skill, and you have to be able to use it in a good, you'd have to have a lot of people in one area for it to be useful. That's the only purpose for a Super Horn, and hate to say it, it's not as good as people say it is. The next one on the list is the Triple Bananas. They were first introduced in Mario Kart 7 as one of the best ways for you to have like a little trail of bananas. But in Mario Kart 8, they first making it more of a spiral around your cart. So instead of having it all behind you like a trail, now it's going around you in a circle and acting like a defense tool. In my opinion, I don't think the triple bananas are as useful as people say they are. They're not. They're just there. They're good defense tools. That's really all they're good for. If you can hit a snipe, then good for you. But other than that, I don't think the triple bananas are as useful as people would say they are. Sadly, in my opinion, I barely put them higher up than the speaker, but I still think the speaker is not as good as the triple bananas because of its defense mechanism. So yeah, now let's talk about the single green shell. Now there's two different kinds of green shells. There's the triple and then there's the single. The single one is a lot good for defense and is good for sniping. It's a lot easier to snipe with that than a banana itself. But I do think it's not one of the best items in the game. I don't know if it's better than the red shell. It will be controversial because both red shell and green shell use a lot of the same aspects, but instead red shell is a targeting tool, while triple green shell is just on its own path where it goes straight in. It can bounce off the walls, and you can actually target people with that. But it is also really good for defense, and it's one of the only items you can get in first place, including the coin and the bomb. So I do think the green shell isn't a bad item, but it's also just the single one isn't as good as the triple one, and can be used for good advanced gameplay, but I do think in its own game of mind it's not as good as people think it is. Now let's talk about the single red shell. It is one level up above it because you're not always going to hit with the green shell. It's always a chance thing, but it is still a red shell is automatically gonna go for the first targeting player, so anything in its line of path. That could be your teammate if you're playing a team game, or it could even be a CPU or another player on the other team. So it's a really good targeting tool and really good for an attactive strategy, and it can be used as a defense mechanism when you're racing online or something. You can hold it back and protect yourself from another red shell attacking you. But the one side effect of a red shell is you cannot get it in first place. You have to get it in any other placement. But I do think it is still a little bit better, slightly better than the green shell. Not by much, because of its way it works, I think. Now let's talk about the lightning. The lightning bolt is not as bad as people say it is. I think it's not a bad item. I think it's a pretty fun item. But the reason why I place it so far back is when you're playing online. It is still a tool that can be used unlimited times, and people can keep getting it over and over again. Unlike the blue shell, where you can only get it a certain amount of time. When somebody gets it and uses it, you have to wait 30 seconds before you can get it again. So like that mechanism makes it so it's not overpowered. The lightning bolt doesn't have that mechanism, so it makes it a lot more harder for people who are trying to play like online tournaments or trying to do this, and you just keep getting spammed by lightning bolts. But I do think it's a very good way for people to catch up. So it's not a bad item. It's definitely better than the red shell and green shell by a huge amount. But it's still not a top tier item. It's not a grand item. It's only really good for like online races or matches for competitions. But I do think it's not a bad item. I swear, it's not a bad item. It's very annoying. I just want to get this off my chest. The fire flower. This one, I just can't even talk about it. It's so bad. Holy crap. Playing online matches and you just see fireball, like the fireball is just coming right at your tail, and you're like, you have to like maneuver your way out, or sometimes it will go invisible because you're playing online lobbies and you can't see it and it hits you somehow. It's such a buggy tool, and I don't appreciate it at all. I do think it's slightly better than the lightning bolt because of its competitive aspects. You can use it a lot more as a defense tool and an attack tool, and it's a lot more and instead of like the triple green shell, you have a lot more fireballs and you can spam it, and it's a lot more of a way to get up slots into your race, so like you can move up positions, and it will really help you out a lot in the long run for catching up. I do think it's a very spammy tool and a very sweaty tool in my opinion. I really don't care for it. I hope they don't bring it back into the next game, but I do think it's a little bit better than the other items I said before. But that's why I put it so far back, because I don't want it to be ranked so high. Now let's talk about the single mushroom. Okay, so I do think mushrooms are very useful in matches. They're one of the best things for a match, and is your best way to catch up and like take shortcuts and do all this. But the single mushroom isn't better than the triple or the golden mushroom because of its aspect of being used in like, it's only a single one and it could only be used a little bit. It's not like as good as the others, but I do think it's one of the best items in the game because of its gameplay with blue shells. You can dodge it, and I think it's one of the coolest ways to dodge a blue shell, and I'm so happy Nintendo did that with us, letting you be able to dodge it with a mushroom, and you look so cool when you do it because you're like, I know the game now. I know how to play the game now. Yep. It's just a great way to play the game and makes you look a lot more better at the game, per se. I do think the game makes the single mushroom not as powerful as the others because of its only single use, but it is still not a bad item and definitely better than the fire flower by a long shot. Please, this is not even close to the fire flower. I just put it so far back because there's a lot more better items at the point, like getting up there, but like for now, the single mushroom is still one of the top tier best items. Now let's talk about the boomerang flower. Okay, so now I was debating on putting this one or the fire flower. They're close, both fire flower and the boomerang. But the one thing that caught my eye with the boomerang is it's not as annoying as the fire flower, and you can use it a lot more as a strategy tool and can knock out a lot of people. So like if it's in a straight line, and is very good for competitive Mario Kart. It's a very good tool and is known to get out of the way if you're in the middle of its path. And it's a really good, easy way to snipe people or use it as a defense tool to block red shells or even protect your teammates if you're in a team match. I do think it's a lot more better and not as like a spammy tool. It's a lot more of a tool that is, in my opinion, better, and I wouldn't mind it coming back into the new game. But like the fire flower, please don't. The boomerang flower is also a tool that can be used as a protection tool. So it's not like I said, defense, but can also be used as a how do I say this? A defense tool when you're like getting red shelled spammed. So like if you're getting triple red shelled, throw it right back, you can get all three of them down instead of only getting one and it breaking. It's actually really useful for defense. Let's talk about the bombs. The bombs is one of my favorite items in the game. I wish I could have put them lower on the list, but you know, there's a couple better items in the game, and I wish I could say that this is a better item, but it's technically not. It is still such a good like lag trail item and a very good item to get people off your back. If you're like in a struggle with people right on your tail, just throw it right back and send them to Kingdom Come. I still think that the items like the bomb is still known as one of the OG items because of its like use and one of the funniest uses in the game, especially the bomb snipes. Now, picture this. You're in the air and you see somebody like going right in front of you, and you just throw the bomb right in front of you, and you snipe them right before the finish line, and you get first place. That is what's happened so many times with me, and it's such a good way to like claim a first place and stuff, but it's such a good attack move, and it's such, I don't know how to explain it. It's so fun to do, and that's why I think the bomb is one of the best items in the game. Such a good attack, defense, and neutral item, and it just scares people. Just get away from you, because once they see it behind you, they usually stay away. But yeah, the triple green shell. Now, the triple green shell is not a bad item. It's still, like I said, it's better than the single green shell and the single red shell. Because the triple green shell is so good, in my opinion, it is still known as one of my favorite items in the game. But because I could not pick on which is better, I'm going to include the triple red shell too in this selection. So they're both going to be number 8 for this one. The triple green shell and the triple red shell are still known as the two like most nostalgic items in the game. First items to become triple items and are first known as the death sentence. You're pretty much dead if you get hit by either ones, and if you're playing online on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, it is very, very annoying to counter one of them. Like if you see somebody in front of you with a triple green shell, you know, yeah, probably don't like stay right behind them, or you're probably gonna get lag trailed or something under the sun. And they have such a good defense and attactive move. It's so annoying. Now let's talk about the triple red shell. The triple red shell is still just a great way. If you see somebody with a blocker, you can just throw 2 and then still have 1 defense item if you're about to get red yourself. So it's such a good way to like have a good attack move and then also have a good defense move on your hand, and good neutral items. So I still think those 2 items deserve number 8 slot, but like there's still some better items, but I still think these 2 items are so nostalgic that it's just nothing will be better than those 2. Never mind, I just found something better than those 2. The Piranha Plant. Oh, such a grand item and such a fun item to use, and very annoying if you're about to get Piranha Plant, and can cause people to hate you from now on. It is such a fun item and a great way to play competitive Mario Kart. If you're playing competitive Mario Kart and you encounter a Piranha Plant, there are 3 steps on how to avoid it. Step 1, dodge as fast as you can or drive off the cliff. 2, try to knock an item or bomb them, because that's one of the only ways you can stop them. Or 3, just get eaten, because there's no point. You're just going to get eaten either way. The Piranha Plant is deadly. It's something you'd never want to mess with. I still think the Piranha Plant is one of the best items in the game, because I just love using it and running into people and just eating them. It's so goofy and such a fun way to play Mario Kart. I think it's so fun, and it's very good for attack. Not really good for defense, because you can't unless it's coming right, like an item's coming right out in front of you, it's not gonna, like, you can't really stop anything coming from behind, because Piranha Plant will not defend it. Like if a red shell is coming from behind, it will not eat it. You'll just get red, sadly. But if you drive right in front after you get red, it will still be in attacked mode, so it will still attack you. The Piranha Plant never dies if you don't like if you hit it with like a red shell. It's still there, so it can still attack you. So don't drive right next to the driver you just hit with the red shell. It will still probably hit you. Now, I was debating on putting this one on number 5, but I had to put it on number 6. Sadly, it's not as good as number 6, and I have a good reason, or not as good as number 5, and I have a really good reason, which will be explained in the next item. But the bullet bill. The bullet bill is known as one of my favorite items and is one of the best items in the game because of its extension and use. It is the ultimate item for shock dodges and just being able to push you up to first place. It is such a good way to come back from like 12th place and just pull up and be in like, yeah, I'm here. I'm now officially in first place because these guys do not have a shock dodge item. So the bullet bill is still such a useful item and is known as one of the best items in the game because of its comeback stories. Also, the bullet bill will damage you and knock you out of place because if you get hit by it, you can die. Sad thing is about the bullet bill is not very like, I wish you could fully control the bullet bill. For like, if it had a time limit, that would be cool. So it's like, instead of being on autopilot, you can fully move it yourself, and it would be such a great item to do with. I think it would be one of the best items in the game, and I think it's such a fun item to use. Now, let's talk about the Boo. Now, I think personally the Boo is still one of the best items in the game, and I think it's better than the bullet bill because of a few things. A, you can shock dodge. B, you can dodge any item or any real like character in the game. So like if a car is gonna run into you, you run into it with the Boo, it will go right through you. So that is still a lot more defensive. Also, you can meme with it. You can literally, if a Retro is about to hit you, you just go into ghost mode, and the person in front of you who thinks you're getting hit by a Retro, now he's getting hit by a Retro because he doesn't have a Boo that can protect him. And you can steal people in front of you's items. So if you're in second place and you know the guy in the front of you has a blocker and you have a red shell, but you know if I use the Boo, it'll take his item and use then you use the red shell and you're still in ghost mode, so no items will go after you for the time being and you'll be safe and sound. I think the Boo is still such a good defense item and such a good attacked item and a neutral item. It's such a grand item in all aspects. I think it is technically a little bit better than the Boo, than the bullet bill. Sadly, I still think it's that better. But it's your opinion. Do you think it is? Maybe. Let's see the next item. Now, I do think this next item is my favorite item. The blue shell, or other people like to call it the spiny shell. The blue shell is known as the blue shell, first place killer. So if you're in first place, run and hide because you're not. You're gonna probably die from a blue shell, unless you can blue shell dodge. The blue shell can get combated by either a mushroom or a I guess shock dodge, or like if you get shocked or something, you can stop it from hitting you. But like the blue shell is now such an easy way to like. It's such a unique item and such a iconic item that it's, I don't know, it's probably my favorite item in the game. Even though there's a lot better items, that doesn't mean that this is not my favorite item. I still think the blue shell has its like purpose, and it's such a thing that Mario Kart will never get rid of ever since they added it into the game, because it was such a good way for people to take people out. And now it's in the Mario movie. It's such, I don't know, it's just beautiful and I love it. And that's why I ranked it so high. I probably would have put it a little bit farther back because of it only being good for like defense, but because of how much I liked it, I just had to put it up in number 4 slot, even though there are definitely better items than it. But yeah. Oh, so the triple mushroom. The triple mushroom is number 3, and now we're top 3 left items, our last items. Which ones do you think are left? But let's talk about the triple mushroom. Triple mushroom has been in the game for a long time. The game is getting a lot larger with items and more every time it gets a new game for the franchise. There's a lot more items, a lot more ways to either take out first place, like the blue shell, or like a lot more ways to be annoyed by items. But the mushrooms have always been really unique to the game because of its first originated into the SNES Super Mario Kart game. The triple mushroom is always been something that has been unique and such a game changer for people trying to catch up. It's such a good way to hit shortcuts, and you always have 3. This is where the boo thing also comes back in. If you use all 3 of your mushrooms, but wait, if you use 2 of the 3 mushrooms, and a boo takes it, you'll still have your the boo. The guy who used the boo will have the 3 mushrooms back. So there's an infinite way to get triple mushrooms back and forth. The thing about the triple mushroom, though, is it's such a game changer for like hitting shortcuts, hitting blue shell dodge, and always have an extra. I think it's such a way to like, it's such an achievement to have in first place, in my opinion. It's like such a cool thing. But I think this next item is a lot more achievable. Let's see it. The final item, or the second to final item, the golden mushroom. It's such a cool item, and I love that it got introduced into this game. The golden mushroom is one of Mario Kart's best items because of its immaculate like amount of like speed it gives you, and it's almost unlimited like use. It will run out, but like you have it for a little bit and its use is insane. Like if a boo takes it from you, you still have the mushroom boost after you spam it. The golden mushroom is also such a cool item to have in first place and to take. I had it one time where I somehow got to first place with it, and it just felt so cool to have it in first place, and just you can spam it, you can hit as many shortcuts, and if a blue shell uses it, you can literally spam it and you don't have to worry about timing the blue shell. You'll hit the blue shell dodge because of it. I do think, though, the golden mushroom isn't better than this last item. It's not a defense tool, it's not an attack tool, but like it's such a cool, unique item to have in the game, and it's better than any of the other mushrooms. But yeah, let's see this final item. Now, when I was listing off the items at the beginning of the video, you guys may have noticed I missed one item. This one key item for all competitive Mario Kart players. I bet you guys can guess what it is. If you play this game for a long time, you've known it, and everybody always complains about this item, but I still think it's one of the best items in the game, and here it is. The coin. Now, the coin, a grand item that is very controversial because of its use in games. It's usually, people think it's only good for 1 or 2 things. For just having it cool as decor, or 2, as a cool way to get more like parts for like Mario Kart 7 or Mario Kart 8 to unlock more characters. It's like a cool way to gain stuff. But like, people forget the one crucial item in every single Mario Kart game, known to man. The coin has given you 10% more boost every time you get around 10 coins. 10% more boost, which is insanity. So if you're rushing with Yoshi, Teddy Buggy, and the rollers, and you're running first, and you have 10% more speed, you are literally so fast. It's such a good item to have in the game, and I think it's the best item in the game for a reason, and it has a reason for it to be in the game. But yeah, that was my final item. Now, to finish off this video, I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been watching. This video took a long time to work on. I still have a couple more videos coming out soon. Be tuned for those. Be ready for those. I may take a YouTube break soon, but it will be in a little bit in the future, so be ready for that when that happens. But yeah, thank you for watching. See you guys in the next one. Bye, guys. Hello, everybody. I just hope you guys enjoyed that video. It was really good. If you guys want to see more of those videos, go to the right of the screen over here and check out my playlist. It's all about different kinds of videos, so like the Let's Talk playlist and then also the Mario Kart playlist. And on the right is the newest video that just got uploaded, so go check those out. and you all have kick-tastic day. Get it? Kick. Ha! I'm so hilarious, right, guys? Yeah. Please subscribe, please.